Hi guys, welcome to her narrative podcast.
Another day, another episode.
I'm Abo and I'm with
Christina.
Guy Christina. How was your week?
Oh, you mean how was our week? Because we're together like throughout. It really is another day in Lagos. I can't lie. There's been a lot of stress. There's been a lot of bad news. So just kind of trying to figure out how to distract myself. Watching a lot of films. So we went through a lot.
Guys,
We did.
it's so crazy how Nigeria is no longer safe. Do you remember when we were going to get cabbage the other day
Oh my god.
and just walking
Bro.
on the road alone was so scary?
Nah, you guys, it was the most random thing. It felt like a side quest because we had like an event to cook for and we wanted to get cabbage because we wanted to make shawarma. And they were like, oh, we have to go to this other place to get it. We went to the ends, bro. Like, went to the ends.
From
But
one public
guy, it
transport
was
to
something
another.
else. So
It is
scary,
well,
y'all.
oh. That's how we entered inside the bus. The bus took us to the wrong location. Then we now had to walk for the rest of the journey. And then we're now the only ones on the road. We came across two cars that looked so
Sketchy.
sinister with
Yeah.
some weird ass people in it. And with the news of banditry that is going on, it
Yeah.
wasn't just helping matters. But we thank God for safety. Is it only me? I feel like this whole banditry thing is like politically
Oh,
inclined.
definitely.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even surprised anymore. It's not something that was like, oh my god, the government. Like, I can just tell, but like, people just don't want to say too much.
Yeah, with
and-
politics coming up
yeah.
and stuff, it's too close, it's too
Yeah.
soon. First it was hantavirus, now banditry.
And then that Ebola thing. talking about
Exactly.
Ebola.
This whole politics thing just reminds me of when I watched King of Boys and how if you've watched it, you see that some of the people in politics had a lot to do with the stuff that was happening to like the people, like citizens. Like now this whole banditry thing, I won't be surprised if it's like a plan of the government just to make sure one person's party looks
Looks better
more
than,
competent,
more
yeah,
competent than the other.
yeah. So and also the woman, the lead character.
Oh, Shola,
yeah.
can't lie, she ate that roll up. I'm
Like
so
mad,
sorry.
guy.
Like, she really did well.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, she did well. And I think it was such like a difference in how women are typically portrayed in like films in Nollywood. That was us seeing a woman in
Exactly.
like a position that
yeah.
men typically take, or like a male dominated scene. And it wasn't like she was afraid or she was
Or out
cowering
of
or she was trying
place.
to prove herself. She was the boss. Like, I'm so sorry. That kind of like
Undisputed.
shifted like the stereotype a lot. And yeah, it was nice to now see like more films coming out with women being portrayed like that, because typically like it's never, maybe we're just the ones that are supposed to cook, or we're the evil stepmother,
House.
or we're the house
Let's
help,
even
or we're
dive
the-
deeper to how Nigerians have Nollywood in
Yeah,
general has
has
displayed
portrayed
and
women.
portrayed women in film from early Nollywood, like beginning of filmmaking in
Yeah.
Nigeria up until now.
Yeah, old Nollywood.
Yeah,
Typically, like how women were portrayed was always the submissive wife or the suffering mother or the evil Think of
Stepmom,
like
Patience
Ozoko,
Ozoko.
bro. Every time I saw her on TV, she was always one wicked
Wicked.
woman that didn't want her son to marry a particular woman,
yeah.
and she was mean to her. Like they were, or maybe they're the ones poisoning the husband. I don't even know.
Or
It was just a lot, and
stuff like that.
obviously growing up with that, you kind of get conditioned to think this is how women are and this is how people see women rather.
And also how they make the women look like all these housewives that are dependent on their husband's
Yes.
money. The women don't typically work. They're always at home, catering to the children, catering to their husband,
Yeah.
cleaning the house, there's nothing more to the female gender than just, working in the house
Yeah,
and doing house chores and stuff like that.
yeah, even down to like just not film alone, just even ads as well. Like them always showing the woman being the one in the kitchen,
Or washing
and maybe the
clothes.
husband is playing with the children, or he comes home from work, and
Exactly.
the woman is the one in
Cooking.
the kitchen cooking. If it's not Maggi, it's Gino, tomato paste, like all
Or
sorts
Viva.
of things.
Or
Bro,
some
she's
stuff
washing
like that.
clothes, and it's
Exactly.
just like, why? Like, is this all they see women to be? And it's just really unfortunate because the younger generation is now coming up and technology is advancing.
Yeah,
Like they're
and
being more
education,
exposed to these things,
awareness.
and seeing it more often compared to how we were seeing. I mean, growing up, yeah, there was old Nollywood, but lots of us were watching SpongeBob and Dora the Explorer. Like we won't really
Exactly.
say we sat down and we're watching
Nollywood
Nollywood.
films.
There
All
were
those,
those moments.
African
but-
Magic Epic.
Exactly. I mean, there were those times because I
Exactly.
remember my parents would go to work and my nanny would just be playing it on TV. I would go and watch it with her. not even just like English films, as well as Yoruba,
or Z World or
Hausa, Zulu, like things
something.
like that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Um,
But I would say over time, these narratives have changed in some
true,
sort of way.
true.
Because if you look at films like I mentioned earlier, King of Boys, how Shola
Mm-hmm.
Shobawale was the leading character, and
Yeah.
then she carried like her character carried so much power,
Power. Yeah.
and yeah, you get not
Yeah.
only just King of Boys, even in I think was it Oloture,
Okay. Yeah.
that
Oh, that film
journalist, the
was
female
so. That
journalist,
film
yeah.
was so heavy. Oh my
In
gosh.
other films, it's always the male character that is like
The
the
hero,
yeah
the
of
one
the
trying to
mm-hmm,
exactly,
the
but
main actor, like the character
yeah,
protagonist.
yeah,
About
yeah.
the
But you still
yeah
saw her like become a victim,
yeah
because even though she's doing it for like a good cause, she still eventually became like a
yeah
victim of this
sexual
this yeah
assaults,
sexual assault,
trafficking,
trafficking
and stuff
exactly.
like that.
And but you see like women having to exchange their bodies just to survive and just to make a living, and they
Yeah,
were also manipulated, they were also lied to, because they think that they were going to go to this place for a better life or greener
life.
pastures, the American dream. That was so not the case. Like that was so not the case. And yeah, it was just really unfortunate, to be honest.
And also in Oloturi as well, there was a situation of the male. I think she was a journalist, like I
Mhm.
mentioned earlier, and then
Yeah.
she was working under a man.
Yeah.
And then when she had like her story and she wanted to go back to meet him
Yeah.
to tell him about the story, he was basically trying to suppress her voice, telling her to leave the story and leave these
Alone. Yeah.
people. Do you understand? And even
Yeah.
when she was in trouble and she was reaching out to him, he did not answer her.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that whole issue of like the male gender trying to suppress the voice of women, and yeah, I
Yeah, it
think
happens a lot, honestly, and it just goes back to like even just areas of corruption, because you're kind of wondering, okay, was he paid off? Was he like,
yeah.
even if no matter the amount of evidence you have, you can never like win that kind
Mhm.
of thing. So I think it
Mhm.
was just like the system is just rigged.
It has
Um,
always been
yeah, it's
rigged.
always been rigged, and it's happened a lot, especially with what we're speaking about women.
Mhm.
Um, but I think at the same time, it's showing a lot of reality. I don't know, maybe they're just exaggerating it, but these things do happen in real life
I don't
where
think it's
women,
exaggerated.
yeah, I feel like,
Because
yeah,
some women actually do go through
go
this
through
kind
these
of
things,
stuff.
yeah,
It's just because we don't hear it enough or we don't see it enough on the news. But I know that there are women out there that go through stuff like
yeah,
this, even worse, possibly worse
mm-hmm,
stuff like this.
yeah.
Have you watched Citation?
I have. It was a long time ago. Like, I
Yeah,
think I watched it in like
Temi or
2020. Yeah,
$10.
Tell Me or. I think that was her
Yeah,
acting debut.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I think for Citation, Timmy, she did receive some backlash because they felt like she just was not like a
yeah.
good
Acting wasn't
actress.
good. Hmm.
And they felt like that kind of took away from the story. But regardless, she played a role that is so common in universities in Nigeria, even all around the
Outside
world. But like,
Nigeria,
yeah, in Nigeria, you often find like some male lecturers deciding to take advantage of
even female
women.
as well.
I think there's a documentary called Sex for Grades
Sure.
as well. Like, can you
I've
imagine?
never
Like,
heard. I'll go and look
yeah,
it up.
Sex for Grades. So that, I mean, that is just it's a lot to take in.
How these men
Um
use their power because he's in a position of power,
of
being a lecturer,
power.
and then I'm sure they prey on people that are vulnerable, people
Vulnerable,
that are
yeah.
innocent, people
Mhm.
that probably need these grades, and just use their position to
Yeah.
basically take advantage of these young girls. And it's sad,
Honestly.
man. It's
It's sad
really,
because we can
really
relate
sad
because we are in
in university.
university.
Yeah.
Thankfully we haven't experienced, I mean,
So I've heard stories,
I have heard some
but let's not go
stories. Let's
into
not
that.
go. Let's not go too deep.
Let's not go there.
You know,
It is
well,
well.
will be brought to light whatever needs to be
In due
brought to
time.
light in due time.
In due time, oh, in due
Literally, will be
time.
brought to light. All of those.
Let's move a little bit away from Nollywood now
Mhm.
and let's go to Hollywood.
Okay.
Okay, so there was a film I watched.
Mhm.
I think it just came out recently, G20.
Oh, I saw that. I think that
Yeah.
was 2022.
Yeah, they
Actually,
made a woman a
president.
president.
Yeah, which is so rare.
Rare.
Like,
Hmm.
it's always a man. It is
Exactly.
always
Because
a
I remember
man.
even when who was that female that was running for election? And because I think it
What
was
was her name?
Hillary. I
Yeah,
don't know if
Hillary Clinton.
Yeah,
Okay,
she
okay.
was running for
Okay.
presidency, and then
Mhm.
they basically just because she's a woman, she won't be able to. You get
Yeah.
that kind of thing. And it's so embarrassing that people have this kind of mentalities in the
Mindset. It's so
21st
yes.
century.
It's so like old. Like
Like,
it's just an old way of
grow up, man.
thinking. And
This
people
in
need to
this
just
time and age.
recondition their minds that gender doesn't like define
Yeah,
anything.
and that's what that film shows us
Yeah,
basically.
hundred
Cause yeah,
percent,
she
hundred
was
percent.
a martial artist. Was
Yeah,
it
like
all those
she
people that
took
fight?
like training, like she did training,
And she was still a
um, and
president.
she trained for obviously situations that
Like
she
this.
could be endangered. Like,
Yeah.
and I think just looking at that in like parallel relation to King of Boys, for King of Boys, she was like this villain, like
Yeah. She was
warlord,
portrayed
but
as
she
a
was the main
villain.
character. So I remember watching that and finding it hard to like. Do I feel sorry for her? But she's also like a bad person. But yeah,
Is it
like
in
it
King
was.
of Boys?
Yes, she was a bad person.
She
like
wasn't entirely a bad person. So no, she
had
wasn't
her
entirely a bad.
issues
I
because
mean,
she
yes,
was killing people.
yeah, she had her issues, but she wasn't entirely a bad person. She became a bad person because she trusted some men in power. So basically, there was a president that was supposed to give her. I think she was supposed to be. She was supposed to have a position, but after the man got like his power, he was like older because she's a woman and because she has done some dirty stuff
Wasn't
because she was a king of
Wasn't
boys.
she married to the King of Boys?
Yes,
Remember?
yes, I
And
remember.
then he died or something like that. But I think
Yes,
did she kill
but
him?
that
Am I
was
tripping?
like a kind of survival
I beg
for
you,
her.
exactly. Okay,
And I
yeah.
don't
So I
blame
mean,
her.
I don't blame her. I
Exactly.
think, yeah, we are just victims of our
This
reality
because she
and the
grew up where she was
circumstances.
getting like
Molested,
raped and
yeah,
stuff.
at
Like
a very young age. I mean,
exactly.
I see that.
So it was a
Eniola
means of
Salami,
it
bro.
was
That
exactly it was a
name,
means of survival
that
for her.
name.
She just had to look after herself and her kid and her
I
best
mean,
friend's
yeah, but that
child.
doesn't excuse
Justify,
that she
I
did bad
know,
things.
but
But yeah, I was just trying to say that
yeah,
G20 at least okay, she was like seen as this hero,
yeah.
heroine actually. Let's say that because
Heroine.
yeah,
Actually,
she's a
yes.
female hero. She was a heroine. So yeah, it was definitely nice to see her portrayed in that light. Obviously, gender representation of women. That was like
Yeah.
a good thing. She was a strong woman. She was powerful, and I've seen Viola Davis in roles like this a lot.
The title itself, The Woman King, just basically beats the stereotype already because the title just has woman there. Do you understand?
And king, which is
Exactly.
typically associated with
With
a man.
men. Yeah.
Yeah, and you could see even like the king in the film was like a coward, basically.
Yes,
like
it was.
he literally held no power whatsoever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was very important, especially from an African storytelling like
Point of
point
view.
of view.
Yeah.
That was really nice to see.
It's true. Speaking of stereotypes, have you ever experienced have you ever encountered anybody that had like this stereotypical view of women?
Girl, when in Lagos, I experienced that every day.
That's also true. That's
I
true.
experience that every day, and it's so unfortunate. I remember, okay, since we're talking about films, obviously I'm a film student, so our school took the film department to the African International Film Festival. I was sitting in the film screening
yeah.
while watching this film Safari. That had Osas Igodalo, who's an amazing, she's a powerhouse of
Actress.
an
Oh my
actress,
days.
especially in Nollywood, definitely setting the scene for younger girls. But yeah, we're sitting down, and her character got involved with a man who was basically like he was an escort, he was a prostitute. And I found it so
What they call it
difficult
in
that people
Nigeria,
couldn't. He was a gigolo basically, and there was a guy sitting beside me and my friend, and he's like, "Men can't be prostitutes. Men can't be prostitutes."
So what are they?
And I'm like, okay, what are they, please? Like, since you're all up in, I even thought he wanted to like give another name, basically, like you said, gigolo, but he was like, they can't be prostitutes because they're kings.
Eh?
So obviously, you know me, I wanted to. Curiosity really killed the cat. I wanted to
Hey.
find out what
women
he wanted.
exactly.
So I said,
what was
okay,
implying.
what are women? And he's like, women are, they're
Sorry for the
Ha.
language, guys.
sorry for excuse the language, but he said it so blatantly, and I'm so sorry. That's just how I have to put it. And he was like, yeah, they're this and they're that. Hey, you see how I rose from my chair? Like I just,
'Cause what do you
a
mean
part of me
women are
was
prostitutes
seriously
and
rising
bitches
because
and
that
hoes?
literally pissed me off. My friend was even like, wait, let me handle this, because she said what? Like, you know when you're so taken aback, and it really made me think: are people still like
Having this
locked
kind of
and caged in
stupid
this
mentality.
mindset? Like, it's such a limited mindset. Clearly he was very narrow-minded, and I hope one day he listens to this podcast and sees
And he,
how
yes,
big of
a fool.
the
He
biggest fool
is
he is. Honestly, because how can you still think of women
as
that
prostitutes
way? I
and
feel,
bitches and
yeah,
hoes
that's so
in this
like
21st
derogatory
century. Hello.
to speak about women that way. And he was
So
telling me it
he
was even
doesn't
in the
have a
Bible.
mom. Let's not just go there.
Let's really not go there,
Let's
because if
just
we go
leave
there, we're
him.
gonna stay there.
I swear.
But yeah,
Let's talk about female directors and how they portray women. I mean, we've listed some films
okay,
previously that like
yeah.
female directors have. Yeah, females have directed. Let
Mm-hmm.
me put it that way, like King of
King of
Boys.
Boys.
I don't
Okay,
know. I
yeah.
feel like I'm mentioning King
Kemi.
of Boys too much,
Yeah,
but it
because
was
that's
just
a
a
very good example.
yeah,
Obviously there were films before that were starting to portray women
yeah
as more than just a house help
household
or fine face or
household women.
housewife or yeah.
Yeah,
Think of Jennifer, who created this whole character that
yes,
everybody
Funke
has known.
Akindele.
Bro, that's how many years of this character that people. I don't even think people see Funke. They see
As they see her
Jennifer,
as
like,
Jennifer.
and I feel like
That's how
her
much she
coming up
embodied
with
that
that
role.
movie. Everybody loves Jennifer. I think she's such a smart businesswoman as
Yeah,
well. She's gone from just being a character, just being an actress, to
yeah,
being a businesswoman and
yeah,
someone that everybody just knows and loves. She's very strategic with
yeah,
marketing and things like that. But yeah, I think King of Boys definitely showed us that okay, there is this other side to
yeah.
women, and women can like we're multifaceted. It's not just one
One.
thing. It's not just one face. So yeah, Kemi Adetiba, she really did her thing, and I've seen
A
that
big
she does
one.
that a lot in her films. Think of To Kill a Monkey, and yeah, just different things. I feel
Yes.
watching her films are they're
Cause
very interesting.
even in To Kill a Monkey, even though what's that guy's name? Is it
Z-
if it's that
This
guy?
guy, wait,
No,
the
not
one that you say brotherly.
yes, the guy that says
Okay, yeah,
brotherly.
is it
Well,
his
I've
wife?
forgotten his wife
Yeah,
Idia.
yeah, yeah.
Cause if you look, Kemi, she's very smart. If
Mhm.
you go back to the Benin history,
Mhm.
Idia is like a um motherly figure that is like supposed to protect. So if you look at it, he was always like, "Oh, my wife, this, my carrying his wife on." So
Yeah.
basically, that was like his own. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know how to explain it, but if you go deep
Oh
into
my
like
gosh.
the
I
Edo
actually had
culture,
no idea. Guys, I hope you're listening
they still
because
made the woman
I
very
never knew
important.
that. Yeah, you learn something
That's one
every
thing I
day.
respect about Kim. If you
Yeah.
look at all her films,
Yeah.
there's always something that the female gender is,
Mhm.
or the female character is connected to, that
So
has so
yeah.
much power.
And I'm wondering if it was a guy who did King of Boys, how would it be?
Actually,
Like really.
you'll probably still be a husband that will
Yes,
be the
because I'm
king of
trying to
boys.
think. Like, I feel like it would be nice to see a man take that direction and like
Mm-hmm.
see how he would portray
Yeah,
the woman. Like
or
that's
the lead
the lead
character, who he
character
would choose
exactly.
for
Who
the
he
lead
would choose?
character.
Would it still be a woman? If it is a woman, would she be portrayed
You see,
differently?
mm-hmm.
Would it be the same or would it be better? Like those
And
things.
other directors like Mo Abudu, Bolanle, Austin
Yes,
Peters, they've made
yes.
like very nice productions, nice
Mhm.
films that also
Mhm.
portray women as, elite figures,
Yeah.
people that are like, instead of just being household characters, they
Mhm.
have like some economic importance
Importance. Yeah.
and some sort of leadership and power. Okay, guys, we've come to the question segment. I know you guys don't want this podcast to end, but this is not goodbye. It's see you later. Okay, so we got a lot of questions, but we're only going to be able to take a few because of, yeah, we're going to take everybody's questions. So we have about 3 here. Don't worry, in due time, we'll answer everybody's
Everybody's
questions.
questions.
Okay, so the first person here, Tinuke, said, if you could rewrite one common female stereotype in films, what would you change? Tinuke, that's a very good question.
It's very deep.
Christina, would you like to answer that?
I mean, there's a lot I can change. That's why I feel like it's a very deep question. But I think I would definitely change the, I guess, women being like the victim. I think I'll definitely change that because, yeah, it happens a lot, but that's not all that there is. So, yeah, as it is important to show those, the dark side of everything, it's also important to show that there's a brighter side.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's what I'll do. It's definitely a question I would love to speak more on and think more on as well and ponder on it. But what do you think?
I mean, I share the same view you do share.
Uh-huh.
So let me not just talk too much. So
Yeah.
you've answered the question basically.
Oh, you're stealing my answer. Whatever. What's the
Please.
next question? Give it to
Okay,
us.
so Bolanle said, what determines whether a female character is seen as strong or weak in film narratives? What typically like determines a woman's strength in films is how well they're able to carry out the task that men are normally like known for
Known for,
doing,
yeah.
like being leaders,
Mhm.
doing like menial jobs, like being a mechanic. Because I
Mhm.
know old Nollywood films, like Mercy Johnson specifically, she was such a tycoon. She could
Yeah.
do different stuff like being a mechanic, being a carpenter, and stuff like that. Do you get? So I feel those are like some of the things that determines a woman's strength in
Strength in
films,
films, yeah.
or let me just say how Nollywood shows it,
Shows it,
depicts. Yeah,
yes.
and I think a woman's weakness, being in Nigeria or
Mhm.
being just like in this world, is her being a
A
woman.
woman, and that's so sad.
It is so sad. Just being a woman is already a weakness because there are places in this world that, oh, if you're a woman, you can't do certain stuff. You
Mhm.
can't go to school. You can't like be outside. You can't be seen in society and just stuff like that. So I think that's a woman's weakness
Yeah.
in films.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Do you have anything to add to that?
Oh.
Okay. So the last question we're going to be taking. Um. Okay. So Sarah said, "Have films ever changed the way you feel or personally think about being a woman in society?"
Mm.
I think both of us can
Yeah, both of
answer
us
that.
can do that. Change, I don't know, maybe a bit, but I would definitely say they've kind of conditioned my mind, and I'm trying
Mm,
to recondition my mind to see that women, like I said, are not just one face, like they're
yeah,
multifaceted. There's so much more to being a
a
woman
woman.
than just being a pretty face. Um, yeah, women are bold, women are strong. There's so much women can do. Yeah, so I definitely think the way they have been portrayed in films as of before was
Mm-hmm.
kind of not just films but also in the media space. There's a lot that is expected of women, and it's like you can never really please anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, okay, this year being skinny is what is in. There's always a constant change. There's always something new, something trending, and
Mm-hmm.
trends just die. So I feel like it's so hard to change for someone else,
Mm-hmm.
but rather you should focus on just trying to change yourself for the better, not to please anybody, because you literally just can't please everybody. I think once I realized that, that definitely changed how films had conditioned my mind to see women and how like women were portrayed. Yeah, I think that's
And I
definitely
think to
it.
add to that, like
Mm-hmm.
watching old Nollywood movies and films, um, I was able to, growing up,
Yeah,
all I thought women were like homebodies, people that were supposed to just take care of the house,
yeah,
cook for their husbands,
mm-hmm.
serve their kids, serve their
Yeah,
husbands, you know, being household materials and
yeah,
yeah, so to speak. So I think education also changed that, not just watching films. I think going to school and learning that okay, there's more to being a woman than just being housewives and stuff.
yeah,
So films also helped to change that. Like all those films that we mentioned earlier, just basically portrayed women as strong figures, people that have like
yeah.
good economic importance,
Mhm,
and
mhm,
you understand.
mhm.
So those kind of things help me to understand that okay, I can be
Yeah,
somebody that is in a leadership position. I can be somebody that is important. Do you understand?
exactly.
And then yeah, basically that's it.
Yeah, I hope we were able to answer your questions, guys. And yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode.
See
See
you
you
next
next
time.
time.